What are the 7 things that rich people buy that the poor and middle class don't? You see, one of the things that differentiates the rich from the poor is not just because of money, it's because they have assets. Rich people, they buy and they own and they acquire assets. Middle class, they buy liabilities thinking they're assets, and poor people, they only have expenses. Today I'm going to share with you 7 types of assets that rich people buy, acquire, and own. And I'm not going to define assets as in traditional accounting terms. When you talk to an accountant and they will explain to you what types of asset classes they are, I'm going to define it the way that rich people, the way that we see assets. And they're very, very different how most people see it. By the way, if you have not ordered a copy of my new book, Unlock It, make sure you click the link somewhere here and order a new book where I go much more in depth. How do you unlock your financial confidence and how do you acquire wealth? Number 1, the first type of asset that rich people have that the poor don't is business. See, most rich people, almost all of them, either they make their money through their companies and business, or they have an invested interest in multiple companies or multiple businesses. So once you think about it, versus poor people, all they have is a job. They have a paycheck at the end of the month. You'll never get rich through a paycheck. You only get rich through a business or multiple businesses. Why? Because it's the only way you can apply leverage. You can leverage other people's time, money, resources, and talent to build something to make your vision a reality, that your earning ability is not tied to how many hours that you work. You're able to leverage 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 1 to 500 to build a bigger business, to be able to impact more people and deliver more value to the marketplace in exchange of money. That's what a business does. So that's the first asset class, business. Number 2, the second type of asset that rich people buy that the poor don't is arts and antiques. Now, this is an asset class that I know very little about. I cannot tell the difference between a $100 painting versus a $100,000 painting. I have no clue. This is an area that I am like a complete idiot. My art collection would be my Hot Toys and Iron Man collection. Although my wife Jenny would argue that it's not an asset class. Well, to me, it is an asset class. Number 3, the third asset type that the rich buy that the poor don't, it's automobiles. Now, a lot of people, they buy automobiles just for transportation, but the rich, sometimes they buy for collection because they get pleasure driving them, owning them, or fixing them, repairing them, selling them. Done properly, this could be a very lucrative thing that you do, but most of the time, my friends, I notice that they just, because they have a passion for automobiles or classic automobiles, they do it just for fun. But because they collect them, they buy rare automobiles, and when they sell them, they do make a nice profit from it. It does turn into an asset class. But for me, I just do it for fun. Number 4, real estate. This is the most popular asset class among the rich. Most rich people, they either make their money through real estate or they park or hold their money in real estate. Now, when it comes to real estate, there are so many different types of real estate. You have residential or you have commercial. Residential, I'm talking about condo or single family home. Commercial real estate, I'm talking about malls, hotels, right? Offices, multifamily. 2 very different types of real estate. And within real estate, you have so many different types of strategies. Do you buy and hold? Do you buy and flip? Do you develop, right? Do you do Airbnb? Depends on what it is that you want to do and how much capital you have and where you want to go. Now, why do so many rich people have real estate or they park their money in real estate? It's because the banks, the lending institutions, they love real estate. They will loan you money to buy real estate, right? They like the security of real estate. They feel like that's a hard asset. It's an intangible asset that they like to lend money on. And that's why a lot of rich people, we either make their money in real estate or we hold our money in real estate. Number 5, the 5th asset class that rich people buy that the poor don't is paper assets. I'm talking about bonds, mutual funds, and stocks. Now, when it comes to assets, sometimes we buy assets because it produces cash flow or dividends. In some cases, we buy assets and hopefully it will increase in value over time. That's called appreciation. So when it comes to stocks, except it's like dividend stocks, but stocks, mutual funds, and bonds, we are buying it at a certain price and hopefully it will go up later in the future. We are betting, we are buying on the appreciation. You see, with paper assets, you can turn that into money very, very easily. Let's say compare that to a piece of real estate. In order to convert a piece of real estate into money, well, maybe you need to list the property, you need to sell, it takes time, or even if you want to get a loan, get a mortgage, a second mortgage from the bank, it takes time. But with stocks, with mutual funds, you can sell that and turn that into money very, very easily. Number 6, the sixth asset class that rich people buy that the poor don't is intellectual properties. I'm talking about patents, trademarks, brands, copyright, any other intellectual properties that you might have. See, this is an asset class that I love. I own a lot of intellectual properties. The reason I like intellectual properties is because the ability, you can scale, you can license your intellectual properties to somebody else, but also the maintenance fee, it's very, very little compared to other asset classes. I can also duplicate and replicate what I do to be able to serve way more people. So intellectual properties. Disney has a lot of intellectual properties. Coca-Cola as a brand, the brand itself, that's an intellectual property. The brand is actually worth more than the